Hello everyone, welcome and welcome back to my channel. This is Hazel Lucia Tarot. I am your tarot reader Stephanie, and today is one of my favorite readings of the year, our Dia de Muertos reading, our Day of the Dead reading, where we will be tapping into your ancestors to see what messages they have for you for this year, for this lifetime, or anything else that wants to come through. The four piles we have for this reading: pile 1, we have this lovely pyrite. Pile 2, we have a little clear quartz star. Pile 3, we have a blue calcite heart. And pile 4, we have an agate that is shaped like a moon. So take a few deep breaths, bring in your family, bring in the love of your ancestors, or if you want to think about a specific person, you can think about them as well. If you want to set up your altar with me, maybe light some candles, have their picture nearby, or enjoy their favorite drinks, foods, activities, etc., you can do that as well. And of course, I'll be ready for your reading whenever you are. Hello there, pile 1. If you chose the pyrite stone, then we have your reading here for you about messages from your ancestors. We're going to ask to see what messages they have for you. This is my beautiful Day of the Dead reading. Thank you so much for being here with me. So I was asked to get something sweet for this particular pile, so maybe some of you have ancestors who like sweets. Specifically, I have a vanilla candle in the background, and then I also have this little tiny jar of strawberry jam. So maybe somebody here really liked jam or strawberries. Of course, this isn't sponsored by this company, so I'm just gonna cover that up. But for my pile 1, there's something here about mixing sweetness with like either hard work or hardship, which is coming through, or maybe in the dark times, these ancestors came through for you, whether it was somebody you knew in the waking life, in life before they passed away, or it could even just be like the feelings they would give you. I feel like these particular ancestors made sure that you were looked after when things were not going well. So that's coming through already. Let's look at the card you chose. We have Los Santos, number 38. And in this specific deck, I was reading through it last night because I wanted to memorize myself with some of the images and the meanings that the creator intended. For this one, she brought up the first day, well, not the first day of Day of the Dead. First day is actually Day of the Pets, which is the 27th, which is today, actually, as I'm recording this. But the first day of November is dedicated to the children who have passed away. So maybe for some of you, this could be an ancestor, a child who passed away, or somebody who passed away really young. And for those of you who have maybe even had miscarriages, maybe this is like the soul of the child that you could have had, if you believe that. Of course, I'm trying to push that onto anybody, but there's a feeling that there is a very childlike energy to the ancestors coming through here. Maybe that's why they wanted the sweets. Maybe that's why they wanted the jam. Los Santos can translate to several things. It can mean the saints, the blessed, the holy. Number 38 could be important here as well. But let's move on to your reading. I've pre-selected your oracles, and we're going to get into the tarot to see what they want to what they want to say. We have familia, family, number 16. So yeah, maybe for a lot of you, this is definitely your family. Of course, that's what ancestors are. But this feels like immediate family. This feels like somebody that you've actually spent some time with, that you've had moments with, whether it was like a grandparent who you knew as a child, and maybe only as a child, or this could be, again, maybe a child that passed away, unfortunately, whichever makes sense here for you. But there is this feeling of family. Maybe for a lot of you, family is very important, and this is why you're here. Let me make space with my little wreath here. We have medicine mother, honor your inner knowing. So the healing mother is a very important figure within your life or your family dynamic. For a lot of you, this could be you. You could become a medicine mother, a medicine mommy, if you will, here. Maybe you're very into natural healing remedies, or certain remedies have been passed down through you to you. I'm also kind of getting, it makes me think of the movie Encanto, where the mom makes food and she heals people with it. Maybe some of you do something similar. Not to that extremity as in the movie, but maybe you know how to make like a really good tea that clears up the sinuses, or maybe like the best soup, vegetable soup, chicken noodle soup, whatever soup that will help anybody through a cold, or something along those lines. But even if it's not food, I feel like there's something very healing about you, and this healing energy comes through a very nurturing kind of, it's like the healing comes through the nurturing side of you, or through the nurturing side of the people in your family. And I feel like this is both you and your ancestors. This is definitely a gift that they have passed down to you. And that's actually one of the questions for the tarot. So it's interesting that it's already being answered here. Maybe this could have been a very maternal figure who was very healing, even just in the way that they would speak or in the advice that they would give you. Maybe they were literally into medicine. Maybe they worked in the medical field as well. Oh, my left ear started ringing in a very interesting way. So I feel like for a lot of you, that was actually true. We also have success. Ooh, they bless you with success every day. They ensure that you have some sort of success. And we have the gallows, number 16. Again, I'm getting the feeling that for some of you, I feel like whoever this ancestor is, it's definitely an ancestor that when they passed, you felt it. You felt it very deeply within your soul, because I keep getting like the sense of hurt and almost like a tightness in my throat chakra, letting me know that maybe this is somebody you don't really like to speak about too much or too in depth, because then you'll get in a certain mood. And once you get in that mood, it's hard to get out, But I am getting this feeling. Interesting that the number 16 came through twice. So maybe some of you, the number 16 could be important, whether it's the 16th of any month or the 16th year. Maybe you lost them when you were 16, or maybe somebody here was 16, which would make sense actually, 38 and 16, which, first of all, that breaks my heart, because it's so young. But still, a difference of 22 years could also be important. For some of you, this could have been an aunt, an uncle, or an aunt as well, I'm hearing. Because this nurturing energy, it doesn't have to be your mother per se, but it's definitely somebody who, it's like this energy of somebody who heals whenever they enter the room. Like this person was very, at whatever point they were in life, especially when they passed, they were very spiritual. Like they had a very healing presence. And I feel like that's what a lot of you miss the most of this person. And it's odd because I feel like they never really left you. Like this person, they were so healing in their human body that even when they passed, of course, that was never going to leave anybody that they cared about. Like this person is still very much with everybody. And in times of need, they're there to give advice and even there to kind of nudge you in directions and in ways that could help you out. For example, let's say you're out and about by yourself, and then you get like this, I don't know, like something happens. You get a nasty gash on your arm or your leg, or, and suddenly it just hits you with the idea, oh wait, I've got this and I can use it to sanitize it. I feel like that's this ancestor coming through, kind of reminding you little weird ways and remedies to take care of yourself, because, oh no. Okay, so I'm hearing some of you are kind of clumsy, and this ancestor knows it, and it's like, okay, let me stay with this one for a little bit so they don't hurt themselves. So I'm getting a little bit of that. But with success, it's interesting. I feel like this could be this ancestor, this could be like the collective of your ancestry. They ensure that you find success no matter what. So a lot of you could have a lot of luck through the people who are protecting you on the other side. Because I feel like you have had more than one instance where maybe you should have, for example, been fired, but you were saved at the last minute by, somebody who was looking out for you. And that was really your ancestors working through these people to protect you. Or maybe there was something that should have failed. Maybe you had a business that should have gone under, but it never did, because these ancestors made sure that you found the right clients, that you were selling the right product, etc. There's something here about ensuring success here for you. So a lot of you, you're very lucky in having such a strong family, like a strong family bond that makes sure that you have what you need. Maybe they also helped you along with your success. Maybe they, gave you a loan, or gave you something like, I'm thinking money or land or something, where they allowed for you to take care of yourself. Of course, that's not everybody, but for some of you, whatever they could have left behind to ensure that you thrived, they did as best they could. So let me get these oracles. I want to see what else they want to say. So now that we know who they are. For a lot of you, if you become mothers, I feel like, or parents in general, I feel like you will have the same natural healing ability. Even if you don't, I feel like if you tap into that nurturing energy, like for example, with your pets or your nieces, nephews, or just young children, like anybody who needs to be taken care of, like this natural healing will literally come out of nowhere. It will just kind of manifest itself within you. And that's kind of like the internal knowledge that is passed down. I forget where I read that, where once the time comes, you become the thing you need to be. That's what I'm hearing here. And I feel like this actually happens within the animal kingdom. I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like that's where I watched it, like on a documentary about animals, like in some wildlife, what you can call them, like the Animal Planet and whatever. It's kind of like they know what to do once they know they're going to bear children, and they do that very thing. Like they know where to go, or it's, I don't know, it's like an inner knowing, like something within you just clicks and you become like this very healing person. It's like a claircognizance. Automatically you just know. Maybe some of you became very claircognizant either when this person passed, or when you became a mother, or when a specific child entered your life. We have birth, yeah, just hitting that home for some of you. If you have given birth, this could be the case. Or if you have children, because you don't have to be a woman here, of course. You could also be a man. Again, it's that nurturing energy. We have recharge. Okay, they definitely want you to take breaks every now and then to recharge, because I feel like you're not doing that enough, pile one. Also, it's necessary in order for you to be able to continue to do this very thing. In order to gain success, you have to know when to step back and when to take advantage of a situation. We have courage. They give you so much courage. I feel like the days that you have the least courage, they're there the most. And expand. I'm hearing this is more present. Right now, a lot of you are getting ready to expand, or getting ready to I don't want to say become something different, but it's definitely a feeling that you're about to step outside your comfort zone, step outside what you thought your boundaries were. Your boundaries are expanding to be something else entirely different. And by boundaries, I mean the boundaries of your own comfort, not anybody else's. I'm not saying people are crossing your boundaries now. I'm saying that you are crossing your own boundaries and expanding them and being like, okay, let me give this a try. Okay, let me try doing this. So a lot of you are going currently through a growth journey, or you will very, very soon. Because I feel the precipice of it, back of the deck, transform. And maybe some of you are kind of afraid of the transformation right now. Because there's kind of like this feeling that some of you don't want to have to be courageous. You don't want to have to change. You don't want to have to go through the thing. But it's happening for you. It's happening for your benefit and the benefit of everybody else that you love, that you would want to see benefiting from you as well. What's underneath here? Observe. Wish. I just heard when you can't listen, observe. When you can't listen, just observe. And maybe this is also implying that don't believe everything you hear. What's the saying? Believe none of what you hear and half of what you see. So a lot of you are becoming much more observant, or they're asking you to be more observant of other people and of situations for sure. But maybe also on a practical level, watch out for yourself here as well. Because it's kind of like you're going with the flow. Also, I just realized that this orange color is very similar to the marigold color, so I kind of love that. Maybe some of you clicked on this video because you like the colors of the video, the picture I posted. So maybe that's important, or that could be a color that your ancestors, maybe that's how they show that they're around, with that color. Which in Day of the Dead, this is a very traditional color of the marigolds, the cempasúchil. But marigolds also come in like yellow and bright pink. It also, of course, makes me think of the sacral chakra. So that's creativity. And of course, the sacral is where our birthing organs, if you will, are located. So yeah, I feel like for some of you, parenthood could be something that they want to bring up. But with that said, let's go ahead and get into the tarot portion. And I want to thank you again so much for joining me in this reading. This is my favorite type of reading. I've done 2 more before. So I will have like a little playlist, probably linked below in the description to, if you're curious about more Day of the Dead readings or want to ask maybe for different people or different questions, you can do so. So the questions, actually it's funny because I feel like I've already answered them kind of sort of in the oracles, but let's go into detail. So question 1, what do you need to hear right now? What do you need to hear from your ancestors right now? What do they want to bring to your attention? I'm being told to work in 3, so 3 cards, 3 questions. Okay, so we have 4 of Swords, 3 of Wands. They really do want you to rest. Like if you can, take some time before you make a decision. Take some time before you decide what you want to decide. Take all the time you need. They really want you to think things through, because the 4 of Swords can also be contemplation, meditation. It's taking a step back to think. I mean, here he just looks like he's sleeping, but he could, I mean, the dude also looks like he's meditating, literally, especially with those hand placements. Because for a lot of you, I feel like you're not seeing the full picture, or there's something else. Let's see what else they got to say. We've got the 10 of Pentacles, especially because whatever it is that you're making a decision on, it's something that's going to be long lasting. This is something that could definitely be like a forever kind of decision. For example, let's say you want to change careers. This could be the career that you end up being in for the rest of your life. Or let's say you want to move to a place. This would be the place where you end up staying for either the rest of your life or for at the very least a very long time. I don't want to say the rest of your life, because I know a lot of people when they retire, they want to move to different places, but that, and you never know how things end up in certain places. But whatever you're making a decision on, it's definitely going to be very impactful. For some of you, this could be like, again, giving birth. Like if you're deciding whether you want to have children or not, of course you're stuck with those kids until they're ready to be on their own. I don't want to say 18 years, because sometimes usually it's more, and sometimes it's less. And the Wheel of Fortune, and this is the annoying part. You can't escape having to make this decision. Like if you think this is a decision that will be made on its own, it could be, but they would rather you take control of it. It's like, do you want to decide, or do you want the universe to decide for you? And I feel like there's no right or wrong answer there. This is all up to you. Which one are you more comfortable with? Which one are you okay being with? Like if you want the universe to decide for you, it will. But you may not get to have a lot of say in what happens, or like what the major shift is here. It's kind of like when you're a child and your parents make the decision for you and you're kind of stuck with it and you make the most of it. If you're okay with that kind of mentality, that's okay. But if you know for sure you're not, if you would rather make your own mark on the world, if you would rather have control over your life, then think about it really well and then make that decision. Because regardless, I feel like there's something very transformative happening for you. If not now, then soon. Some of you could be in the middle of it. I keep getting that. Like it's like, yes, you have time to think, but also make sure you think it through very thoroughly. Maybe speak to somebody that could help you out, a professional of some sort, or even a trial period if you're allowed to do that with the decision you're about to make. So that's what you have to hear right now. What advice they have for a particular difficult issue. So, if you don't have a difficult issue right now, this could be like any time something difficult pops up, what advice they would give to you. We've got the 4 of Wands, the Hanged Man, Page of Pentacles. It's odd. I'm hearing, don't be so taken away by people's glitz and glamour. You have to look through to see who they actually are. Because the 4 of Wands is like a party card. It's one of those cards where like, when you meet somebody and they're really, very attractive, very fun, very charming, charismatic. But then you get to know them and you find out they're the sleaziest person ever. I'm getting a little bit of that, especially with the Page of Pentacles. Because there's something here about not trusting what people present and instead trusting their actions. Instead trusting a track record if they have one, or trusting what is being what is being said about them by people that you trust. Not the gossip, but the people that you truly trust. What are they saying about that person? Trust that. It's kind of giving... So you know when you meet somebody and everybody loves them, but you have this gut feeling, you're like, I don't know, there's something I just don't like about them. And once you find out that it's, you know, not jealousy, it's not envy, it's not... because sometimes we could just hate people because we're envious. And you just find out that they're actually just as shady as you always felt like they were, but people were taken aback by their good looks or their fame or, I don't know, whatever weird reputation they have. It's kind of like that. And why this is coming through in the advice for a difficult time is that what they're trying to say is that you don't really know somebody until you've been in their shoes. You don't really know somebody until you go home with them at the end of the night and see what they have to go through before they even go to bed, or what they have to go through to make a living, what they have to deal with. And I guess this is more for work situations with the pentacles here. Because the amount of people you meet in the workplace who are absolutely nothing like how they present when they go home. It's kind of like, you know, your coworker is this really cool lady, but then she goes home and she's got these kids and a husband she can't stand, and she just, you know, her life is miserable. It's kind of like that. That's an example, of course. I'm not saying anybody here is that, but your ancestors kind of want to help you out with deciphering who is who and what is what. Because I feel like some of you have fallen for people who presented to be a certain way and ended up not being anything like that, especially in terms of like romantic relationships or even friendships. Or for some of you, I'm hearing like distant parents, which is kind of interesting. Or maybe like an estranged parent could have been the reason why you were attracted to people like this. They made you feel seen, but then you saw that they had attributes very similar to people that you've either been friends with or that you've dated, that you've gotten close to, let's put it that way, which is really interesting. And I feel like this is something that could be healed. This could also be like a family situation. Like, I don't know if some of you have had this where like you find out that you fall for the same kind of people that, for example, your grandmother or your mother in her youth used to fall for. And that's kind of like a pattern that shows up in the ancestry that you end up having to break. Something along those lines. So I'm going to get a few more pulls for this one, because for whatever reason, this particular advice is very interesting. I think they're trying to tell you that some of you could be following certain patterns of people in your past, like your mother, maybe siblings or grandparents, and you're not aware of it because you don't really even know their story. Let's say you always had a thing for example, for bad boys, and your mother and your grandmother ended up being with a bad boy, and then he left the family and she had to raise, you know, the kids on her own. It's something like that. That's an example. I'm not saying that that's what happened. Of course it is. If it's resonating, that could be. Yeah, Four of Cups and the Lovers. Yeah, for some of you, this has to do with romantic decisions, oddly enough. And I'm not surprised. Because I feel like, especially if you're in a situation right now where you're having a hard time getting over somebody, or even just a type of person, this could be the case. So if you're currently like wondering about a person, whether you get together with them, but you knew the situation was toxic, will they ever change, etc. Those are family dynamics working out within, or sorry, those are ancestral patterns playing out within your romantic relationships. And I know it's not fair, and I know it sounds kind of silly, but it's part of the patterns that you need to break. Because the Four of Cups is also letting me know that they kind of don't want you to focus on this too much. Like, yes, be aware of who you're interacting with, but also understand that you will... what's the advice here? Give people some time before you truly commit to them. Maybe as long as, like, with the number 12 here, 12 months, 12 weeks. More than 12 days, that's for sure. Because we have 6 and 12. 6 months, for sure, before you find out who somebody really is. And I feel like this is calling out more people who have been in situationships or in flings more than anything. So that's the advice they have. All right, the last one is gifts that they've passed down to you. And we've already mentioned one gift, which is the healing. Also, I'm hearing your ancestors don't want you to worry so much about who you will marry or who you will end up with, because you're the magic here. Like, you're the beautiful, wonderful creation of love that is existing here. So you have all the love within yourself. Not saying that they don't want you to get with anybody, but don't worry so much about it, you know? The right come will come when it's time. All right, we have the Six of Pentacles. Yeah, they definitely, like, I feel like either you had very generous ancestors, maybe even generous to a fault. Oh, you know, this is, you know how grandparents, some grandparents, not all, of course, like they'll give you something, but they don't want your, they'll tell you, don't tell your mom I gave you this, or don't tell your dad I gave you this. And it'll be like, it could be anything. Sometimes it's money. It's usually money. But sometimes it'll be like, I don't know, maybe like a fine piece of jewelry. Like they'll give you something, or even like whatever your favorite thing is, they'll give that to you, even though you weren't supposed to. With children especially, it's like, you know, you tell the parents tell the grandparents, don't give them too much sugar. I don't want them to have so many sweets. And the grandparents like, whatever, they're my grandkid. I'll give them all the candy they want. You know, it's kind of like that. So I feel like you had very generous ancestors. And in their passing, what they've given to you is the same sense of generosity. And also to not let everybody know what you have. You know, I feel like either you have already learned this or you've always been this way. You don't really brag about what you have, or you try not to, because what you have is for you and you only. For some of you, this could even be like the metaphysical gifts that you've acquired, because I know some of you have those. So you may not tell everybody, for example, that you're clairaudient and can hear everything about a person when you are around them, or that you have the gift of, maybe it's even a talent that you don't really want to share with people. Maybe it's a talent for yourself. Maybe they gave you the gift of music. So maybe you're really good at playing piano, but you don't really do anything with it other than just play for yourself when you feel like it. So there's something about keeping things to yourself, or they don't want you to really share, depending on what it is. They don't want you to share it with everybody. Let's say you inherited a house, for example. They don't want you giving that to your future spouse. It's like, that's for you. This is for you. I'm hearing this is for you, baby. Don't give it to anybody else. It's for you and your descendants. So pass it on to your kids, but don't pass it on, or even to like other family. Like they don't want you to give. And I see this a lot in like family dynamics. Like if your grandparents gave you something, they're like, don't give it to your uncle, you know, their own kids. They don't want them to have it or something like that. So that's really interesting if that's coming through. What else wants to come through here? They're asking me to go ahead and move on to the closing advice, which I'm using my little angel cards. So sometimes these little cards come up with prayers. So if you're not into prayers, you can just ignore the advice or take it to mean how you want it to, of course. So for my pile 1, okay, you get 2 cards. Guilt. You do not need another's approval to feel worthy of love. Regardless of what you've done or what you think you failed to do, from your soul's perspective, there's neither right nor wrong. Every experience in life is here to help you. Expand your awareness of love so that you may embrace ever greater spheres of wisdom. You've done nothing wrong. I love this. I love this because I feel like this guilt could be several things, like maybe the guilt of something that you've done wrong in the past. And even because as I was bringing up here in this like mini relationship advice that they were giving, maybe there's a guilt that you haven't found a partner or had kids or done the things that you've kind of expected your family to that you feel like your family has expected of you. And maybe some of you have even expected it from yourselves. So they're asking you to release guilt because there's no point in having the guilt. I hear that very strongly. If there's one thing that a lot of people who have passed usually convey in their messages, it's like they would have less regrets and less guilt and less shame because they're like, that stuff weighs you down so much and there's no point in having it. Like, yes, make amends where it's needed. And yes, forgive yourself and others if it's needed as well. But don't waste so much time with those heavy energies, because I like even talking about it weighs me down and they're like, oh, don't talk about it. We're not here for that. So they're asking you not to hold on to the guilt and shame and all of that for too long, because there's no point in it. We have positive outcome. At this very moment, you are sowing the seeds of your future through your thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and attitudes. Whether through love, fear, or indifference, you are always creating something. So remember to keep your thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes positive, and you will create a positive outcome. Which I feel like these two go hand in hand. It's like release the guilt, release whatever it is that is holding you back, and instead put some love into it. Put some love, positivity, good vibes, good put something good into it, even if it's just like silliness as well. I also feel like you will have a positive outcome in something. They're saying that you have a lot more control over the situation than you realize. So they really do want you to take control. And even if you don't, things will work out, but they would rather that you put your name on it, to put your stamp of approval on the trajectory of your life here. But this is where I leave it, my beautiful pile one. Again, thank you so much for joining me in this reading. If this is out before October 31st, and I'm still offering Day of the Dead readings if you would like your own personalized reading, or if you would like to tap into someone specific. If you feel like doing so, of course, you can like, comment, and subscribe. I'm sending you so much love. Take care. Hello there, number 2. If you chose the clear quartz star, then we have your reading here for you about messages from your ancestors in this special Day of the Dead reading. So we're going to tap into what they have to say through the oracles. We're also going to see if we can get like specific ancestors to come through. And then we're going to get into the tarot to ask more detailed questions. So we're going to start with the card you chose. But before I move on, I also have this little... So I'm getting like a little trinket for each pile to see if that would resonate with anybody. For this one, I got a little note. This is a little notepad shaped like a little teddy bear. A teddy bear that looks like, what are they called? Elephant ears or those little pastries. And it says, have a very good day. So maybe somebody here is tapping into the energy of someone who used to leave them little notes, like school lunch notes, or even just little notes at like their desk or something along those lines, or even like a text, a little good morning text, a little good night text, something like that. Even sharing memes, like that same idea is coming through. So let's go ahead and get your card pile 2. We have Camino, number 32. Camino, which means pathway. It means a path. Interesting. I'm getting, maybe you used to go on walks with this person and they still walk with you, they still walk with you for sure. So I feel like this could be somebody you actually knew in your living life that has passed away. Or this could even be like, I'm hearing the higher self of somebody who is still alive, but like their spirit is so strongly with you. Maybe you don't see them often. I'm thinking of parents that may live on the other side of the world, or a grandparent you don't see very often, but maybe you call them every now and then. It's almost like distance doesn't keep you apart because your souls are still together. So I'm getting that. Maybe that's why the little messages was coming through really strongly. So believe it or not, I feel like for some of you, this person may still be alive, but they're part of your collective ancestry. So they're coming through here. Interestingly enough. Let's go ahead and get your cards for my pile 2. We also have number 33, fotografía. Yeah, again, so this is pictures, photographs. Maybe this person also sends you pictures, or you may have a picture of this person, which is really cute. I love this idea that, like, maybe for some of you, if you have the same belief that death is only an illusion, that we're always with people, this could definitely be what is coming through here. But I feel like for a lot of you, there's like a long distance, there's a longing for sure, but also a long distance connection or love here between you and your ancestors. Again, if you only saw your parents or your family a few times out of the year, or maybe they live far away, this could definitely be this person, which is interesting. So let's say you had a grandparent that you live far away from. When they passed, for you, maybe, I'm not saying that you didn't mourn them or that it didn't, impact you. But on the other hand, it's also like, well, I only ever saw them a few times out of the year. So it feels like you're closer to them now that they've passed than when they were alive. I actually do get that a lot. When certain people pass, I feel like they're happy with it because then they can be a lot more closer with the people around them in spirit and in soul. Let's put it that way. We actually got 3 of these cards. We have summer, bask in joy and light. So bees could be important. The summer could be important. Maybe you saw them during the summer. We have earth guardian, stay rooted and grounded. And shaman, trust in higher forces. Oh, I love this imagery here because we have this little owl and the feathers and this shamanic looking dude. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm getting a strong sense of humor here between you and this person. So it's not that I'm not taking this seriously. I'm just getting like this sense of wanting to giggle and like to say little funny things here and there. So I feel like you and this person, you kind of had your own sense of humor, and you would kind of just say like funny things to each other at random. Like maybe you'd be walking down the street and you'd be like, hey, look at that guy with the funny looking dog. You know, I feel like you and this person just had such a vibe of like wanting to have a great time and joking around. Even if the jokes aren't always appropriate, like you would joke with each other about them and know that you wouldn't be judged, which is really cute. Yeah, I'm getting like long distance family here. So when they passed, it's kind of like, well, now they're with me even stronger than they were before. And it's really sweet because, like I said, I tap into the energy of people who pass, especially when they're not old, you know, like parents who pass a little bit younger, like in their 30s, 40s. I guess it depends on what you consider younger. And I'll sometimes get this feeling that like they wanted to be with their children so much that it's like I can be closer to them if I, you know. Not saying that they chose to pass, of course, it's usually not the case, but it's like, well, at least now I can be closer to them than I used to before because they used to never even come see me, which kind of breaks my heart. But at the same time, from the perspective of like the deceased, you know, it's a very different perspective than us who are living. I hope that makes sense, by the way. So let's go ahead and we have ghost number 23. Maybe some of you feel like their ghost is still around you, and yes, to an extent, but they don't want you to call them a ghost because they're not trying to be scary. They're a soul because they love you. And then we have cleanse. Ooh, interesting. And on the other hand, some of you, I feel like some of you may have like this energy of naturally attracting ghosts because you're very spiritual. And if so, you can always do a cleanse in whichever way you do. I use several things. Sometimes I use incense if I have it. Sometimes I just kind of bring a light in when I'm meditating and like take them away. I'll call upon angels as well, if you believe in that. Or you can even call upon your ancestors to help you get rid of ghosts because they're like, yeah, who is this person? We don't know them. It's like, they're not part of the family. That's not the ghost you want. Again, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be disrespectful here, but the sense of humor that some of your ancestors have here, Pile 2, maybe you agree with this, maybe you don't. But it's just so silly. Could you imagine like your ancestors show up and they're looking at this ghost of some person that they don't know? It's like, who are you? They're like, cleanse that ish. You know, we don't need that. You can't cleanse away the energy of your ancestors. I mean, if you don't want them to be around, they can respectfully go away, I guess. But like, it's always a loving soul that comes through. Sorry, I feel like I have to explain way too much in this one, which is really interesting. So if you're new, hi, hello, I'm Stephanie, and I'm kind of a medium. I do tap into the energy of people who have passed away, both recently and many years ago. This is why I love to do this. And also I am Mexican, which I think is interesting. I always thought it was cool that I could kind of communicate with the deceased. And I'm also of a culture that celebrates this to some extent. Not in the same way. Not all Day of the Dead celebrations are like this. This is just something I do. But anyway, so for a lot of you, this person was very intelligent. Like whoever this person is, they were very smart, regardless of what their education level was. I feel like they were very smart in the way they handled things. Maybe they love to have conversation as well. They're also very protective. Like even now, I'm getting a strong sense of a very protective energy. Earth Guardian lets me know that they are guarding you. They are your guardian angel. They do not have to be an earth sign, but maybe they were. But this person also masculine. Like this energy feels more masculine. It feels more like a cheeky grandpa than anything. That's what it feels like. Or even a cheeky father if it was like your own father here, or a father figure, which is really interesting. But yeah, the summer could be important. Maybe that's when you saw them the most. But yeah, I like this energy. It's very sweet. And I feel like they sent you a lot of things as well. Like this one, definitely little things here and there, like having little fun excursions, or maybe sending you like your favorite candy, like, or with shaman, you know what's interesting? I feel like they didn't really develop a strong sense of religion, or not religion, maybe it was religion, spirituality until like later in life, or even after they pass. Because I know so many people, even like older people, who don't really believe in anything until it comes to like their last few days. And you can think whatever you want of that, but I feel like that's just them coming to peace with knowing that when they pass, there's a light there. It's always some sort of light, regardless of how you interpret that light through either a religious or spiritual perspective. It's always a light that shines within us, within a lot of people. But I think this person, maybe they specifically went back and forth with it. Like maybe sometimes they did believe in it, but then sometimes when they saw the atrocities of the world, it's like, well, no, how can I believe in it? So very realistic energy coming from this person, and definitely a strong sense of humor, because they really want to make me laugh so bad. And I'm like, I'm trying to be respectful here. This is my Day of the Dead reading. So maybe they would try to make you laugh when things are supposed to be serious, you know, like when you're at a serious service and they're sitting next to you and you're both like looking at each other trying not to laugh for no reason. For some of you, I am getting the sense, if this was like a past, if you were married, maybe this could be like your past partner as well, if you're of a certain age, or if your partner passed when you were young. Because again, I am getting that. So maybe for some of you, this was like your deceased spouse. I want to say husband, because again, this energy is coming through a little bit more masculine, but they don't have to be masculine, of course. They don't have to be a man. Because I'm getting a little bit of that, and literally my right ear is ringing as soon as I say that. So that's got to be resonating for somebody here. Oh, my heart, it's breaking, but this energy doesn't want me to have a broken heart. And I feel like this energy is the same way. Like they don't want you to, like when you're sad, like yes, be sad for the time you have to be sad, but don't stay in that sadness. They would rather see you smiling. They would rather see you laughing than crying, because I'm kind of getting that where like my emotions are a lot, but they just want to keep making me laugh. This is very sweet energy. If this is resonating, pile 2, let's move on to the tarot. But this person, I feel like they showed their love for you in keeping contact with you and sending you little jokes, memes, or just telling you jokes and funny things. If this was before the time of memes, they definitely joked around with you. If it was during or after the time of memes, they definitely sent you a lot of those as well. Oh, I forgot to get the rest of your cards. How dare I? Okay, so this is meant to be more messages coming through from them. This is what they want you to know. And this doesn't have to be just this person. It could also be the collective of your ancestry. But it's funny. I never really thought to think that maybe deceased spouses could also be part of the ancestry. Because depending on your age, maybe you haven't even had a spouse. And for some of you, this could be, again, like a father figure. We have observe. Yeah, very observant energy. Also, or maybe, you know what? I'm also thinking of like a brother. You know how like an older brother kind of likes to joke with you and wants to keep you happy, especially if you were like the youngest sibling. I'm getting a little bit of that dynamic. Take that as it resonates. Because I'm just getting like cool older man energy here. So again, father, grandfather, spouse, or older brother. I feel like they hid a lot from you. Like they made sure that you didn't have to see the ugliest parts of life. Because it's very protective energy. Like I said, this Earth Guardian and even this Camino card. Let me put some of these back. Maybe they also, like, when things would get tricky and rough, like they would make sure, like, let's say the parents were arguing and it was about to get, it was about to get real. This would be the person who kind of escorted you out of the room. It's like, okay, let's go do something else. Let's not sit here and listen to that. Or like if you were watching a movie and it would be like a really bad part, like, where somebody's about to go through something awful, they would cover your eyes or cover your ears. This person was very protective. So maybe even like older sibling energies coming through as well here. Or like I said, grandparent, maybe uncle, aunt and uncle. Delusion. Noise. Yeah, it's like, and this person still does this. In the afterlife, they protect you from so many things that they know you wouldn't be happy with. So it's kind of like they, let's say you're out for a drive and unbeknownst to you, there's like, I don't know, some roadkill on the road of some really cute animal. So instead they make sure that like this most beautiful bird flies up in the sky. It's like, hey, look up here, don't look down there. Like this person wants to distract you with wonderful, funny things or beautiful things or happy things. And abundance, yeah. Which wants to come out reversed. Because I feel like one of their purposes, which is funny that they have a purpose in the afterlife for you. Well, I guess a lot of ancestors do. This person wanted to make sure that you stayed happy like somebody told them a long time ago to make sure that you were okay, to take care of you. And they took that very seriously. They took that to their heart. So if it was like, again, an aunt and uncle, that's like, oh, that's my niece, nephew. I'm going to make sure that they have the most wonderful childhood, or I'm going to make sure that they have, you know, a lot of fun, joke around, have fun. Or again, I feel like this person made sure that you were always happy. And it could be a parent, of course, as well. But I'm getting something like it didn't feel like, I don't know, like it wasn't a stuffy connection. And regardless of who this ancestor is, it could be multiple actually. Could also be like, if you had several siblings, then maybe they were all this way. Or you could even attract this kind of dynamic a lot in your life because that's what you wanted. I feel like they made sure that you were always happy, that you observed only the happy things or the cool things. It's like, let's not focus on this, let's focus on this, you know, let's not focus on the sad things, let's be happy. And I feel like maybe sometimes they wish they had allowed you to experience some negative things just so that you would be prepared, not because they wanted you to, but because you would be prepared. I'm not sure. I'm getting a little bit of guilt around that. It's like, well, maybe I should have let you watch some horror movies every now and then so that you would learn something. I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh here, pile too. But like I said, the energy of this person, I don't know. With noise, maybe you listen to music together, or I'm also thinking of making noise, like literally drowning out like negativity in the background, and instead putting on your favorite music or your favorite movie and drowning out whatever's in the background. I keep getting that. And I feel like they still do this to this day. Like even when you're alone, you'll be just doing something and, oh, here comes something negative. But it's like, hey, I'm going to distract you. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. You know, this is one way they look out for you. So with that said, let's get into the tarot. This energy is very distracting. I don't know if that's just like their thing. Like they like to distract, but in a positive way for your benefit. All right, so we have 3 questions. I'm going to do 3 pulls for each question. And again, I'd like to thank you so much for being here at this reading. This is one of my favorite readings of the year. I love to tap into ancestral energy as well as the energy of those who have parted, who love us very dearly, because a lot of them do. It's one way of feeling less lonely, especially as we're getting into like the darker seasons up here in the Northern Hemisphere. It's not just about paying respects, of course, it's also about feeling less lonely. And I feel like that's the biggest thing of this particular pile. It's not about, I mean, yes, there is respect here, but they cared more about you not feeling lonely, which is really interesting. All right, so the first question, what do they want you to know? We have the 4 of Wands. Again, there's that loneliness because the 4 of Wands is like a party card. Reverse, it's like feeling alone at a party. And not feeling seen, even when you're surrounded by people. We have Judgment. And there's butts all over this one, so I gotta cover it up to not get demonetized or censored or whatever. They really took their role with you very seriously. But also I'm getting a sense that you don't have to go along with things that you don't like. If you are not into something and the only reason you're going along with it is because you feel you'll be ostracized or that nobody will like you because you don't go along with it, so be it. I feel like they want to encourage your individuality here. Because judgment is very much like Plutonic energy, and it's kind of going against the grain or having a very polarizing view on things. They like that side of you. They like the rebelliousness of you. You have the King of Wands, yeah. Again, like I said, very strong masculine energy. Also, this person was, if not charismatic, then they definitely had a way of being liked by everybody without trying. It's kind of giving Aquarius energy, or even Capricorn. I was getting those 2 energies very strongly. Maybe you're this way, or those are your signs, or they were those signs. Also, the fact that this person's coming through very strongly in this, when I'm trying to tap into everybody else's ancestry, I feel like they made it a point to like really look out for you. Maybe they were the only person who did, or you felt they were. But they also want to tell you, like, don't be afraid of being different. Like, the people who love and adore you will love and adore you no matter what you do, no matter what you look like, no matter what's going on in the world. By you being honest with yourself, you're going to draw a lot more honesty in. And I feel like that's something that you may be having trouble coming to terms with. Because I keep seeing the imagery of somebody who's at a party, like this cool, I don't know, like a house party, a high school house party or college house party, whatever it's called. And everybody's just going around, you know, drinking, being dumb, doing all these things. And this, like, I see you, pile 2, as like not being interested or just kind of wishing you were home instead, but you gotta keep up appearances. So here you are, or your best friend is there and you gotta make sure you're there for them. And, you know, I'm getting a little bit of that. And of course, it's a wonderful thing to want to be liked by other people and even to take care of others. But I feel like you have to be honest about what the things you want. Because right now I'm not saying you're living a lie, but you're kind of deceiving yourself about a particular aspect of your life here, pile 2. Let's go ahead and move on to this next question. What advice would they give you during a difficult time? We have Temperance reversed. We have the Star. Yeah, again, I'm getting like cool kid energy. Maybe this person used to be like the cool sibling or something like that. Or maybe they were like really popular when they were alive and then they were just gone. For somebody, this could have been like a friend. Because it feels more like a friend than family. Or maybe they were family, but like a friend. I don't know. And they passed very young. Because I keep hearing that for some of you. Like, this person may have passed before their time. Or even if they did pass at their time, like, they never really shook off that particular persona. Let's get one more card. This person gets distracted very easily. Or, I don't know, maybe you get distracted easily. Because I keep stopping when I need to keep going. And I'm like, what's happening? Advice for a bad time is really interesting. It's basically keep hope and put effort into things that you know are going to be good for you. So let's say you're going through a hard time. They're like, simplify it. Simplify it, go back to basics. So let's say, for example, let's take the example of you being sick, which is kind of a hard time for some people, not everybody. Get back to basics, eating healthy foods, drinking lots of water, cutting out all the crap. Get back to basics. This person, they had very practical advice. It's like they want you to get back to exercising, getting fresh air. I just heard bathing. I'm not sure who they're calling out here by bathing at least every day, even if you don't feel like it, to feel better, which is interesting. I'm not saying that I'm not saying you're dirty or anything, you're pile 2, but it's kind of like this person just wants you to get back to basics. When you're going through a rough time, eat your 3 square meals a day, drink water, get a little active, go for a walk, do some exercise, like focus on you. And it's very practical, but maybe that's how they were in real life as well. But regardless, maybe it's also a time to scale things back and focus on, again, living a healthier lifestyle. I'm not telling you what to do with your life here, pile 2, but I am hearing quit smoking, if that applies or if that's something that you've already wanted to do. This person was very, very influential in your life. Also, I hope I'm making sense here, because like I feel like this person isn't used to being channeled. So the fact that they're coming through, they're kind of going crazy with it through me, and I'm like, okay, let's chill out. This person really liked to have a fun time. Okay, let's go on to the last question. Gifts that they have passed on to you. Again, this could be all of your ancestry or this particular person who's kind of hogging a spotlight right now. It reminds me from Coco. You know how he goes to the afterlife because he thinks that he has to look for somebody else, but it ends up being this one guy that he meets who kind of becomes like his best friend, and he finds out that's like his great I don't know how far back, but it's his grandfather essentially, one of his great ancestors. But they become buddies and they share like this love of music, and it's kind of like he becomes the main character for a reason. I'm getting a little bit of that. It could be that some of you may have never met this ancestor, but they're in your lineage anyway, so they take care of you in the afterlife. And what people wouldn't tell you, or maybe you don't even know this, is that they were a very fun person. Like, they were very fun and very funny. And if they were around, they would be the one who's like, just uplifts you so much, you know? Okay, so gifts that they've passed on to you. My goodness. I just heard, well, I heard it in Spanish. I heard how to be a cabron, how to be a cabrona, which means how to be a badass, how to be... like this person, once they pass on to you, they're badassery. I'm telling you, this person's funny. I'm not used to channeling this kind of energy. Usually it comes through more loving. I mean, this person is loving, but in their own way. And real talk, I feel like this person may have also, not to you directly, I feel like they've caused a lot of hurt in the family. Not to you. Maybe it was somebody that you loved, or maybe it was like shame and guilt that they brought on. And I'm not saying that they're passing that on to you. It's more like they wish they hadn't passed on all the garbage that they did when they were here. They wish they had been better. They wish they had done better. I do get guilt and shame from them, honestly. Which is funny because in a previous reading, in one of these Daily Dud readings, it was kind of the opposite. But this person, what they passed on was how to deal with pain. And they're apologizing formally to you for any ancestral patterns that maybe they had caused or that they were a part of. Because they know it was their burden that they should have undone. But I feel like they passed before they could. For a lot of them, they passed before they could, or they didn't meet you before they could. Like, there's something about they should have been the one to repair this, but they weren't. So there's a lot of guilt here. Back of the deck, yeah, they wish they had given you more. So what gifts did they pass on? They feel like they didn't pass on anything. And they wish they had. Or whatever they did give you was more residual. It's more like, well, because I wasn't there for the family, you had to learn how to deal without me. Or without whatever I could have given you. And I don't think I've ever gotten that before. This person is very interesting, Pile 2. Because like I said, they want to be fun and funny, but they also need to get serious and apologize to you about whatever it was that they couldn't offer you or what they couldn't pass down. And that's very honest with this. I appreciate this person's honesty. Let's get more cards. What other gifts did they give you? That's how to be a badass, that's for sure. Also, I heard that you're a heartbreaker yourself, so it's like, yeah. I don't know, this person, maybe they were toxic when they were alive. Not to you, of course. I feel like it wasn't you. It may have been like your parents, grandparents, somebody else. So I feel like maybe this is somebody they don't even really talk about that much, but their soul is with you. Like, they're a spirit guide to you because they couldn't be there for you. Two of Swords reversed. Yeah, I feel like they're not spoken about a lot. And they kind of don't blame people. And that's okay because they understand. Like, they don't expect people to accept their forgiveness, or their apologies right away. Back of the deck. El Loco, the Fool. They wish they had been more careful in this lifetime. So there's several scenarios I'm getting from this. Because it's kind of giving like absent father energy, but I feel like this guy was too cool for school, so I'm not sure how, I don't know. Take this as you will, Pile 2. Some of you will resonate with this, some of you may not. But let's go ahead and move on to closing advice. But regardless, you know how to handle so much, either because they pass this down to you, because they help you with it, or because of whatever the unfortunate legacy it is that they've caused in this life. All right, let's get your cards. I'm sorry, this one was really weird. I've never tapped into energy like this before. Usually it's like loving mothers and grandmothers, but not, silly absent fathers that you've never met. Or it's giving that energy. Or even siblings that, were just maybe kind of a little... They felt that they were a failure. I'm not sure if they were or not. Maybe that's up to you to decide. All right, let's get your closing advice. Surrender. Remain positive about the future of our planet, for all is part of humanity's evolution. There is a divine order to all the chaos which you perceive in our world. Let me repeat that. There is a divine order to all the chaos which you perceive in our world. Nothing will ever truly change until we learn to love and accept all as it is. Lovingly surrender your judgments and expectations, and your life will magically transform. And I feel like that's very fitting for this particular energy that's coming through in this reading. But this is where I leave it, my beautiful Pile 2. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe. If you would like your own personalized Day of the Dead reading before, make sure it's before November. After that, I got my own stuff going on. And if you would like more Day of the Dead readings, I do have a playlist because I've already had 3. This is my 3rd one. But I am sending you so much love. Thank you so much to your ancestors for coming through. And I'll see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 3. If you chose the blue calcite heart, then we have a reading here for you for your Day of the Dead ancestor messages. We're going to see what your ancestors have to say to you in this reading. We're also going to ask more specific questions in the tarot. So before we start, I was picking up like little trinkets, little things around the house that could either signify your person if there is a particular person coming through, or it could just be of importance. This one, I got my little claw clip. It's a Kuromi claw clip, but I heard more specifically the claw clip. So maybe this person had like really long hair, or hair was important, like getting your hair done, pulling your hair back, tying it back. It feels this energy feels very cozy, very almost feminine, like a homemaker, but it doesn't have to be, of course. It feels, just cozy. I have my cup of tea. I have I don't know, I feel like I just want to sit down and chat. So let's go ahead and get started with your reading. For pile 3, we have Árbol de la Vida, which means tree of life. 44. Árbol de la Vida. Maybe somebody here really liked trees. I'm also getting, specifically like fruit-bearing trees. If you had like a tree with that bared fruit in the backyard or in a nearby area. Again, there's something very cozy about this energy. Let's get the rest of your cards. We have fairy number 29. We have energy. We have tamales number 43. Okay, this is my favorite card. It's the best card out of all of them. I mean, they're all great cards in this deck, but come on, tamales. And again, that coziness. If you've never made tamales by hand, it's kind of like an all-day thing. It takes, honestly, it can take several days because I make the fillings the day before and then I make the actual tamales the day after. And it can take up like to a group of people. Like one person will take the husk and then put the dough in, and then the other person will put the filling, and then the other person will wrap it up, and it can be like a whole thing. Like think about being in the kitchen and everybody's got like a little assembly line going on. Again, getting cozy in the kitchen. Food could also be important because when I was thinking about trees, I specifically thought of fruit-bearing trees. We have Shaolin Master, be graceful in movements and action. This person was really good at doing stuff. I feel like this person had a lot of energy. That's why they got the energy card. And they always seem to have stuff going on. Maybe this person liked to keep busy. I'm thinking of like a really busy, for example, like a busy mom or like a housemaker, someone who always had stuff going on. If not, this is definitely like somebody who, oh my gosh, just tireless energy. Like they could get a lot accomplished in a day. Maybe some of them lived on farms, or the equivalent of what a farm is where you live. Like they would harvest fruit, vegetables, or they would work with animals. Like this person had a lot of energy. And it's crazy when you think about it, how back in the day, like all our ancestors had so much energy to be able to do everything from scratch and to be able to work, and just, it's exhausting. This person, if you were to live their life today, you'd be exhausted, because I don't know where this person got their energy from. Even like I said, tamales is like a whole day process. It takes forever to get them made. It's a labor of love. And we have drum, dream and journey. Drum. I'm hearing, I'm thinking of like a drum beat, but how drums are meant to kind of motivate you to keep going, to keep a certain pace. Like, I'm trying to think. A lot of cultures have this where like they bang drums, but it's meant to help you work. Or I'm thinking of like working and singing, like how the beat of a song is helping you work. It's meant to help with getting stuff done. So whoever this person was, your ancestors in general, definitely very hardworking. They definitely did a lot, had a lot of energy. Like you look back and think, how did they do all of that and still have like 10 kids and were able to keep their sanity? Maybe questionably. Maybe by today's standards, they didn't have much sanity. I don't know. But this person, very cozy. So this definitely feels like a grandparent parent, great-grandparent, somebody who did a lot. If it's definitely like a housemaker, homemaker energy, but even if it wasn't a woman, it could have been a man who was out in the fields all day making stuff, and maybe he knew how to make very basic things, like maybe he cooked for himself every now and then. I'm seeing like, oh, what are they called? The huntsman, woodsman? Like a man who rides a horse into the woods and just kind of camps and does stuff. So I'm getting a little bit of that because there's a connection to energy. With fairy, this is you. They see you as this. They see you as this like adorable, beautiful little bright soul that is like an ancestor. And they're like, oh, you're so cute. We don't ever want you to have our hard life. But they do want you to have like all the comforts. It's almost like, you know how you have a pet and you do a lot for that pet and you love it so much, but you're okay if it never does anything for you because you just adore it? That's how they view you. So they absolutely adore you. They cherish you. They spoil you in the ways that they can from the afterlife. So your ancestors, it's interesting. They gave you this rhythm, this life, this soul in this world. And I feel like you're not really meant to use it for anything other than what you want to do. So if you're wondering about your life purpose, I feel like it's just to be happy. It's kind of like they worked hard so you could fly. They worked hard so you could do whatever you want. Like they don't want you working so difficult. Again, for example, I'm seeing people work out in fields, but they don't want you to have that. It's like, no, it's awful out here. The days are long. It's hard on your hands, on your back. The weather is awful. We want you to live a great life. Why would you do the things we did? That's what I'm getting from them, which is very sweet. There is a sense that you could have musical ability. Well, music is an art form, but specifically musical ability. Like maybe you have really great, or even like dance, which is a part of music, like a really good rhythm to you. Like you may dance really well. And that actually comes from years of having used that dance for other things. I'm thinking of like war dances. Before dances were social, they were meant to like amp you up for going out to hunt. And that's how they also became war dances, because it was meant to prelude something more physical. So it's kind of like a warm-up. So before dances were social, they were necessary to kind of tap into our human body, which is really interesting. So if you were wondering what the drum and Shaolin master are, I feel like there's a little bit of a fighter and a dancer in you. And if you wanted to, you could switch back and forth. And that actually comes from your family. There's like this ability to be free and do whatever you want. But if you wanted to be nice and cozy and nest in your own little home space, you could do that as well. So there's a duality within you. And it comes from like both this, you could either see it as masculine and feminine parts of yourself, parts of your families, or you could see it as like one family versus the other family, but it blends very well together with you. And you were just kind of meant to be special in this life. Like they don't want you they don't want you struggling out here. They want you to have fun, which is really interesting. They worked hard so you could have fun, which is really cute. I love this energy. And I am getting a very strong collective here. There could be like a main head of a household, whether it's like a set of grandparents or like a grandmother or grandfather. There could be a main one, but here I'm definitely feeling the collective of your ancestry, as opposed to the some previous piles had like very strong characters come through. This one I'm feeling a collective, because with tamales especially, like I said, it can be a group effort. I don't know how I make them alone, but it's definitely a group effort. And also they're really tasty. Also, they were originally made to be able to take anywhere with you. They were like a portable food because they come in a corn husk. You cook them in the corn husk, then you open it and you eat it. And this is before the rise of modern technology, So I'm getting, again, there's like both a nomadic and a nesting energy within this ancestry. So you do both. You can do both very well. I feel like you've done it. Especially if you like to camp and it makes you feel closer to like either a true version of yourself or like your ancestors. I feel like that's exactly what that is. So a lot of you actually connect with your ancestors through the use of your physical body and through things like getting in touch with nature. Again, I'm thinking of this tree here. Let's go ahead and get the rest of your cards to see what else they have to say. And actually, I know I was talking about this hair clip which immediately made me think of women who just like clip their hair up, but also men. You had men in your family who used to have their hair really long, and that was like culturally acceptable. Ignore this dude because he's got a buzz cut. But I feel like for a lot of you, your ancestry could have had dudes that like had really long hair. I'm thinking of like Native American men, and I know in Brazil some men have their hair long. I'm Mexican, and I had uncles that had their hair long. So that was acceptable back in the day. Maybe hair is kind of a thing. Maybe you have hair like somebody else as well. Okay, let's get your cards pile. Pile 3. Oh, okay. That one flew out. We have struggle. And it's reversed. What did I say? They don't want you to struggle. They do not want you struggling. We have body. They also, some of you could be very naturally athletic or have like a lot of natural energy. So you were blessed with like very great energy or a great body or both from your ancestors, because in the past they used to have to use that body for a million bajillion things. And now here you are with that same body, just kind of sitting around doing whatever you want, watching TV, playing video games, you know. But I feel like you may make an effort to take care of your body, or at the very least they're asking you to. Like, yeah, they don't want you to struggle, but at the same time, put those skills that come innately to good use so you don't lose them. Let's get the rest of your cards. We have desire. Interesting. Okay. Your family was very fertile. I did mention earlier, it's like, how did you have 20 kids and do all this? You know, you come from very fertile families. I feel like your family's procreated a lot. And the way this has manifested in you could be several ways. Either you take up right after them and do the same, or maybe you're a lot more sensually conservative. It's like, I don't want to have 20 kids like my great granny. I want to have maybe one at most, or none. So I feel like the sensual part of yourself, you actually do take after your ancestors as well, interestingly enough. And I feel like those could play out as certain dynamics or certain patterns within your life. Take that as it resonates, because there's various scenarios coming through and I don't want to provide an example, but take that as it resonates. Let's get one more card. We have child. Oh, that's so cute. You were, okay, if the ancestors who saw you alive when they were around, it was like you were the most precious baby they'd ever seen. Regardless of your birth order, regardless of what was going on, there's something about your childlike innocence that was so important. I wonder if you were like a miracle baby, or even if you were adopted, it's like the adopted family still saw you as very special, or if you were the firstborn, then everybody adored you, or even if you were like the youngest, it's like you remained the baby for the longest time. There's something about you as a child that is very impactful on the ancestry. It's almost like your birth kind of shook up the ancestry a little bit, and maybe it's still doing so, especially if you have like a very strained or very interesting dynamic with your family, let's put it that way. But there's something here. And not only that, for those of you who do end up having children, or maybe some of you who already have, you will pass this on to your children. There's something about, again, you're very fertile. So if you don't want children, take those precautions. And if you already have them, you have very gifted children. I think you already know that. Or you will start seeing that as they develop, which is very interesting. Because this is a family lineage that definitely wants to continue. Or that, at least with you, it will be healed in some way. So if it's not your own kids, it could be somebody else's kids, interestingly. But yeah, there's a big emphasis on creating life and like cherishing the human body, as well as like the work ethic. It's like you were reincarnated into this life to experience the human existence, because there's a true respect for it here, which is really interesting. But with that said, let's move on to the tarot. For my pile 3. And again, I want to thank you so much for clicking on this reading. I love my Day of the Dead readings. They are my favorites. I get to share a little bit of my culture and my spiritual gifts when I do this. And I do have a playlist because I've done 2 others before. So if you want to get a little bit more insight, or maybe focus on other specific messages, you can do that in the description below. So pile 3, I have 3 questions here and I'm going to get 3 cards for each. So the first one is, what do you need to hear from them right now? What do you need to hear? The Queen of Pentacles, the 10 of Swords, and the 7 of Pentacles. Okay. Remember that cozy energy I was talking about in the beginning? It's coming through here, both as a spirit guide and as an extension of you. You are capable of creating anything you want. The Queen of Pentacles is very much in her earthly body, but she's also concerned with like abundance, like physical abundance, money, manifestations, being satiated, like food. Think of the harvest. Think of like Demeter or any equivalent goddess that is of the harvest. So you are naturally very abundant. And I feel like the only thing getting in your way of your abundance is this feeling that you can't take it all on your own, or feeling that you can't do it on your own. Because the 7 of Pentacles is like all this work, and for what? You don't know what it's going to end up being. You don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to get more cards for this one, because I feel like they know and understand that you are capable of manifesting anything. On Page of Wands, you're not meant to go down the path that everybody else has, because what they've done is kind of squandered it away, or like wasted it away. You're meant to do it very differently. So you don't have a blueprint for how to do this, because you're not like everybody else. So you're kind of going to figure this out on your own. And because you do, it's going to be that much more rewarding. And you can say that you are not like everyone else. I don't know why that's important. Maybe you don't want to be like the rest of your family. Maybe you just kind of want to do your own thing. There's also a feeling here of being very liberated. It's like you want to be free. You want to have the freedom to do what you want. So it's kind of like you get to make it up as you go, which is really interesting. Yeah. So it's like you switch on and off between being somebody who's able to nest and create the life you want, or to just leave it all behind and have this more exhilarating life. I feel like you're meant to implement both of those at the same time somehow. So maybe you could make your living on the run. Like maybe you travel, but this is how you make your money. Or you could have your own home, but it's very, what's the word? Unconventional. Like you get to live life on your own terms. There's definitely a feeling that you live life on your own terms and no one can tell you how to live it. And they want this for you. Again, you're meant to be special. You're meant to be different from everybody else in the family. I think especially if you, for example, are a woman and women were expected to be a certain way in the past, they really want that freedom for you. Same thing if you're a man, but I feel like it's more impactful just because of a very repeated societal pattern of like oppressing women. If you're a man, I feel like this is more like if, again, things are expected of you, they want you to do things on your own terms. And if you're LGBTQ, again, you can be what you want. You actually have the ability to express yourself openly. The next question is, what advice would they offer in a difficult situation? What advice would they offer in a difficult situation? We have the World. We're hearing it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. You can do it again. You can build again. You can move again. We have the freedom to come and go. I keep hearing that, whatever that means. Page of Swords. And you're very clever. You're very clever, so it astounds them whenever you just kind of, and I kind of get it. People who are very, very in their minds, very intelligent, their own worst enemy is their overthinking and thinking of all the worst scenarios to the point that it causes like a sort of anxiety within them. And I feel like something similar happens here to you, Pile 3, because what I'm hearing from them is that it's not the end of the world. You can do it again. And they, like, your own worst enemy is your own negative thinking. So they know you can come up with something again. They know you can do something new again. And maybe right now I say right now because maybe some of you are going through something right now. But this could be for any time you're going through something difficult. It's kind of like they wonder how you can be so intelligent, so resourceful. You've done so much on your own. And to them, your problems seem very minuscule. Very, I'm not to make light of your situation here, pile 3, but they see it as like, what are you talking about? You've done this before. You're so smart. Get up and let's try again. That's what I'm hearing. It's like, get up and try again. It's not the end of the world. We can start anew. To them, I mean, because they're past and they're on the other side, it seems small because it's just a little blip in your life. They see the entirety of your life and they're like, this is just something small. Why are you making such a big deal? Let's move on to the better things. Let's figure this out and move on to the better things. So I feel like your ancestors really want to say that getting stuck in this situation or staying stuck, I feel like it's not even about being stuck. I feel like some of you get paralyzed and you're like, how can I move on? Because even as I'm saying this, I'm standing right now because my leg is kind of like stiff. So maybe some of you have that very thing. They know you can overcome it. They know you know how to overcome it. So they kind of just want to give you this motivation to go forward with it. What's the worst that could happen? Because it's not going to happen the same way again, even if it does happen again. I'm going to get one more card for this because this is very specific. Yeah. You know how to handle it. Even if things go bad, you've done it before. You can restart again. And I get it. Some of you don't want to restart again here, pile 3. But they know you can do it. It's kind of like when you play a video game and you keep failing a level. Or you can't defeat a certain boss. Or it's like, you know how you do it over and over again. Every time you get better. Every time you learn something new. So don't be afraid of it. And instead embrace the journey. Embrace it as like an experiment. And the more detached you are from the outcome, the better the situation gets. If that makes any sense. So that's what they're saying. That advice was very straightforward. All right, last question is, any gifts that they have passed on to you, physical or otherwise? Gifts that they have passed on to you. I'm hearing they passed on the gift of the gab. So maybe some of you like to talk a lot. Maybe some of you like to talk. We have the not the Empress. I almost called her the Empress. The 9 of Pentacles. The Chariot. Some of you could have literally inherited like a vehicle from them. If it's not a vehicle, it's the ability to travel, the ability to go somewhere. Maybe your family comes from a different part of the world and you're able to go back and forth from that part of the world. And the 7 of Cups. They really love the fact that you have options, that you have choices, that you have so much freedom in this life. You've got so much more freedom compared to them. They had to make do with what they had. They had to live the life that was confined within them. But you have so much freedom. And I feel like this is a gift they passed on for you to be able to do whatever you want. Like they fought hard so that you could have an easy life. The 9 of Pentacles, maybe some of you have inherited money from them as well. I know it's not going to be everybody, but you've inherited the ability to be happy with the things that you want, to be happy with the things that you have. Back of the deck, we have Justice. Ooh, if there's any, oh, wow. Okay, if there's been any injustice lately, especially concerning an ending, yeah. They're going to be there to support you. They're going to be there. They're going to somehow find a way for you to find the right people or the right circumstances. They will not let injustices stand by you. Like they're going to make sure that you have a very positive outcome, that they're going to make sure that you are seen and taken care of, that you are given what you deserve, that you are given what you need. Because I feel like, yeah, they're making sure that you get what you deserve and what you need and what you have worked hard for. Because again, they don't like to see you working hard. They're like, no, that's what we did. What are you doing? I keep hearing that. They're very loving. They're very sweet. What else is coming through? Let's get your final cards here, pile 3. Final advice from my pile 3's ancestors. We have conflict. Feelings which you have suppressed for a very long time are yearning to be acknowledged and expressed. You are torn between what you think is the right thing to do and what your heart wants. And this is the primary cause of stress in your life. We, your angels, urge you to follow your heart. Do what you would love, not what you think you should do. Exactly. They want you to have fun. They want you to do the things you love, not what you think you should do. I feel like there's certain expectations or what you feel are expectations from your family that you should want, but that's only causing internal conflict within yourself. So follow what your heart tells you. Don't stay in any situation that you know you're not happy in, or that's not resonating with you. You're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to go back. You have so much freedom in this lifetime. They see it and they're like, we're so happy you have that freedom. Now, please use it to your best abilities. But this is where I leave it, my beautiful pile 3. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 4. If you chose the agate shaped like a moon, then we have your reading here for you about your messages from your ancestors for this Day of the Dead reading. We're going to start with your oracles to see who's coming through and anything that needs to be said before we move on to the tarot, which will have more specific questions. So we're going to go ahead and start with the card you chose. We have Fiesta number 31. So this is a party. Let's go ahead and get the rest of your oracles. Oh my gosh, we have number 14, Cholo Squinkly. Or this is basically a Mexican breed of dog. And dogs in is it Aztec or Mayan mythology? In the mythos here, they're meant to guide you to the afterworld, to the afterlife. So maybe for some of you, you've got a pet coming through who wants to show their love here, which is so cute. Especially with this party card, maybe this pet was very social and really loved being around their family, really loved being around everybody. Dogs could be of importance here as well. It makes me think of maybe some of you have animal spirit guides as well, like not just your dogs. Could also be cat, by the way, any pet that you may have had. And if you haven't had pets, just know that you have like a little animal spirit guide around you. Let's go ahead and get the rest of your card. We have Sage, be devoted and committed. We have Stargazer, set your sights higher. And Warrior, be fearless and stand strong. We have Anger. And Observer, number 18. Number 18. So I am getting for a lot of you a pet coming through, and I feel like they were kind of like your best friend. And it's very interesting because I don't think I've ever channeled animals or pets before on my channel. Nor has anyone asked me to. Not yet, at least. But I am kind of getting this energy that whenever you're in danger, they definitely come around. Like, just like a real dog would. Like, if you've seen dogs, you know, when you're walking and a stranger approaches their owner and they start growling. I'm getting a very similar energy. So whoever the spirit guide is, whether it's animal or otherwise, I feel like they're very protective over you. Very protective. They also love to have a good time. So I feel like when they manifest the most, or whenever they show up the most around you, is when you're having a good time and you're just, you know, not being very observant. You're just kind of doing your own thing. I feel like the spirit guide. It's funny that I say spirit guide and not ancestor, because this feels more like, again, like a pet or an animal. That whenever you're around people or you're partying, you know, just not being completely 100% focused, this energy comes around you and protects you, absolutely protects you. Like it's so sweet. It's like an animal protecting their owner. That's what I keep seeing. They also love for you to have fun. So it's like, yes, you have fun, you do your thing, and I will protect you while you have fun. I'm getting a little bit of that, you know. It's very, very sweet energy. And the reason the anger comes through, for some of you, maybe when you're in danger, you will feel like a certain energy. I know for me, it's when I have a particular, if I'm around somebody that doesn't look threatening and they're kind of being covert and sneaky, like I'll start getting like this weird, really hot feeling, specifically in my face, and it feels like prickly. It's weird. And I don't get it as much as I used to. And I feel like for a lot of you, you may get something similar, like you may feel a heat, or you may feel, I don't know, some kind of weird energy. And this is your spirit guide kind of stepping in to protect you from something, which is really interesting. So you have a very, very protective spirit guide. Let's see what they want to say. Also, this is definitely not a spirit guide that spoke words. So I feel like for a lot of you, it has to be a pet. And if you've never had pets, like I said, this could be a pet from like your family. Like maybe your family had a pet and they decided that they want to take care of everybody that descended from the original owner. Or it could be a pet from a past life that kind of still follows you around. Because out of all the piles, this one feels less ancestor and more spirit guide. And that wasn't what I wanted to tap into, but I guess they're kind of stepping in here for you. So pile 4. it makes me think of, oh, because you did choose this crescent moon, it makes me think of Luna in the Sailor Moon anime, how she wasn't really meant to be a pet. She was like a guardian. She was the guardian of the original Moon Princess, and she kind of was like the family's cat. It's giving a little bit like that, and it kind of becomes family, or she becomes family. For my pile 4, and again, if you've never had pets or if it doesn't really resonate, we do have other piles. So we have leap. Again, I'm thinking of a dog or even a cat jumping, like how they leap. We have blockage. The way they're communicating is very primitive. Like I'm just getting like one word or images. I'm getting visuals. We have union. They don't want you around people that are bad for you. They protect you so much from people, not just like all kinds of people, friends, lovers, even family members. Like for those of you who've ever seen, I'm not sure if you've ever seen like when I've seen the videos of like the mom, you know, trying to tell off their child or trying to scold their child, and then the dog comes between them and it's like, no, don't be mean to my human. It's giving that. It's giving that energy. And sovereignty. This is so sweet. Like this energy it's very much of like a spirit animal, or like a pet you once had, or a pet you had in a previous life, just taking care of you. It's like, this is my human. I will take care of this human, and I will make sure they are not in danger. Maybe for some of you, it's a horse as well, but it would be like a horse that really was very protective. But I'm getting this energy that they don't want you to be around people that are bad for you, because the way the messages are being conveyed are very simple. They're very simple, not like sometimes when I tap into energy and the communication coming through is like very specific, it's very exquisite. Like souls and energy communicate in different ways, and this one is very simple and to the point, and I'm being shown images of like either a cat or a dog, and I think you'll know which one, because some of you are more cat people, some of you are more dog people, and some of you have multiple pets that are kind of like your little army of protective animals here. They don't want you to be around people that are bad for you. And I feel like a lot of you have been surrounding yourself, or have just found yourself in a situation where you're around more people. They're making it a point to kind of defend you anytime that something or someone negative comes around you. It's very sweet. It's also very loyal. With be devoted and committed, it's giving loyalty. So this energy is very loyal to you, very sweet. And it's funny because I'm actually recording this particular reading on the 27th of October, which is the first day of Day of the Dead. And it's the day of the pets, the day of the animals, because like I said, in the mythos, the animals, it's supposed to be a little cholo squinkle, a little dog. It's a Mexican breed of dog, a hairless one. And it's meant to guide you into the afterlife, which is very sweet. In the movie Coco, it's that dog, I think his name was Dante. It was Dante, that breed of dog. So just think of a pet like that protects you. But this one is very prominent, and it wanted to come through because it wanted to be acknowledged, and it is so sweet. And I guess that's fitting for today. Like I said, it's the 27th and I'm recording this, and it's the day of the pets. So honor your pet today, or whenever you get this reading, because it's probably not going to go up the same day. With that said, let's move on to the tarot. I'm very curious. They don't speak much. Like I said, they're just very loving. And I guess they're just here to remind you, like, hey, I'm still looking after you. It's very sweet. Very sweet. If you still have a pet that is still alive, this could just be their higher self telling you, hey, I'm part of your ancestry too, and I'm going to protect you always. Oh, that warms my heart. I was also wondering why I didn't get a trinket for this. If you have pets and you give them a lot of stuff, here's the thing. All animals ask for is like food, water, and attention. Food, water, and attention. Like animals do not ask for much. They really don't. Like you can give them all the luxuries. All they want is like their family, food, and water. They don't ask for much. All right, so let's go ahead and get your questions. We have 3 questions. I'm going to do 3 pulls for each one. So the first one is, what do you need to hear right now from your ancestors? It doesn't just have to be this pet. It could be like the collective of your ancestors as well. Okay, we have the two of cups. Okay, for whatever reason, like socialization, one-on-one connections, and friendships are coming through very strongly in this pile. I kind of felt it in the oracles, but I was too distracted by a cute dog. We have the Nine of Swords reversed. They don't want you around anybody who is bad for you. It's plain and simple. If there is somebody who's awful for you, if you make a new connection and you feel awful in it, move on. Let's go away. Let's go somewhere else. It's very simple, straight to the point. But I feel like you don't need an over explanation of that. Anyone who's making you feel bad, anyone who is awful, you don't need them in your life. And I know there's probably more nuance to that depending on your connection and what's going on here. But they really don't want you around people who are bad for you. Let me get one more card. This one is, again, very simple. I'm trying to get more out of them, but they're like, what else do you want me to say? The Lovers, yeah, what did I say? Especially when it comes to very strong connections. Again, it could be romantic for a lot of you, but for others of you, I feel like it could also be like a friend that you're very close to, or even like family ties that are very, very strong. You know how pets will be the first to know when somebody is good or bad for you? It's giving that. It's giving that energy. This energy, if it's not a pet, let's just call it an energy, or this ancestor, they do not want you around people who are bad for you. All right, so what advice would they give for a difficult moment in your life, whether it's current or future? If you have pets that have been acting weird around certain people, listen to that, like observe that, watch it, take note of that. We have Justice reversed. We have the Ace of Pentacles. Interesting that I said page though. I'm hearing nothing is worth your stress. Anything that is causing you any problems isn't worth investing in. Anything that is making you feel awful, feel down, it's not worth investing in. So don't put any more effort into the things that are hindering you, that are making you feel bad, that are awful. There's no point. There's no point in putting any effort into it. Again, very straight to the point with this one. They're very straight to the point. Yeah, it's like we're not going any further in a vehicle, in a direction that is going to be bad for us. That's what I'm hearing. It's like you're not going... If something is bad for you, I feel like this is kind of like the message that right now, or maybe in the past, maybe not so distant past, there could be something going on. And if there's a block for any reason, it's because they're protecting you. They are protecting you from anything that could ruin you or anything that could be dangerous. Like if you see any sort of obstacle or any sort of just literal blockage, like you can't move forward, it's them. And they're like, no, we're not going through. I'm protecting you. We're going elsewhere. We're taking you a different way. Very sweet. And then any gifts that they have passed down to you. If this wasn't a pet, it could also be a child, because there's a day, November 1st is the day of the innocence, day of the children who have passed. So it could also be that, because like I said, it's very primitive energy. Like I feel like this beautiful little creature didn't really talk when they were alive. That's why it's coming through this way. And when I say talk, I mean like talk like a human. Like they didn't have elaborate conversation like you and me. This person, very simple words. We have, they gifted you luck. They gifted you the ability to walk away even when it's difficult. The ability to walk away even when it doesn't make sense to other people. It's like you're not here. Yes, you're here to be loved. They understand that, but they really don't want you to put up with anything that is negative, any environment, any friends, any group of people, any community that is bad for you. They protect you so much. You could even get like signs and symbols from this person in real waking life. Like, for example, if we're talking about a cat that passed away, or even like a child who really loved cats, maybe cats will just show up on your porch and protect you. Or not protect you, but they'll just be there and be like, hey, I'm here. I'm guarding you because your guardian told me to. I'm getting a little bit of that. Back of the deck, we have the Three of Cups. Yeah, they really want you not around any bad people. Who are you surrounding yourself with, pile 4? I'm more concerned about that. Emperor. It's like my word is final, but it doesn't come through as like strong masculine energy. It's more like they want to take control of the situation. They are pulling you away from something negative. It's kind of like in the movie Pocahontas with the little bird. What was the bird's name? Flit. Like, yeah, he really didn't like John Smith, and all he really didn't like was what John Smith represented. That's why he didn't like that bird. So it's giving a little bit of that. So they're just here to kind of like to warn you, to let you know that they don't mean to block your fun. They just don't want you around people who are awful for you. And it's, again, it's a very simple message, but it's getting its point across, because they want you to make sure that you're able to go where you want to go, and where you're going, there's no room for people who hold you back. And they also kind of wish you would just, I mean, this is so sweet. They kind of wish that you would choose better people. And I know that you can choose whoever you want to be around. But this energy, this ancestor, this spirit guide can obviously see everything. Like, they see through everything. So they know the deep, dark heart of everyone, and what is meant for you, what is good for you, what's not good for you. Not only that, but some of you could be getting really drained around certain people. And I think this is the reason why. Because you're being drained by an energy, people, or an environment around you. And they want to protect you from this. So with that said, let's get your final card, my beautiful pile 4. Some advice from your ancestors. We have dreams. This is a wondrous time of healing and positive transformation. Embrace life each moment and keep focused on your dreams. Retain the purity of your vision, and you will draw success to you. All you ever wished for, even that which seemed a distant dream, is about to manifest. You could have dreams about a situation. You could have dreams about this ancestor, pet, person, spirit guide. You could also be having dreams about people coming into or out of your life. Pay attention to the dreams, and maybe the dreams that you are in as well. Like, if people say they dream about you, maybe pay attention to what they're saying about that. Back of the deck, because I'm being called to it. Intuition. Trust your intuition and know that what seems logical may not necessarily be right. The answer to your question lies inside your heart. Endless possibilities exist for you. Stop trying to work it all out and feel your way through. We, your angels, will guide you. Trust your feelings. What feels right is right. And it's kind of like when you feel your intuition isn't working, this spirit guide, this ancestor, this little baby angel pet comes through to help you out. But this is where I'm leaving it, pile 4. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. And again, thank you so much for joining me in this beautiful reading. I love my Day of the Dead readings. Feel free to check out the playlist that I have down below for my other Day of the Dead readings. And if you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next reading. Take care.